Good afternoon, friends, and thanks for joining us. I hope you're all well. My name is Glenda Campbell, and I'm the Res Life Manager for Belfast and Jordanstown. I'm joined today by Clodagh and Mary, who are the Res Life Managers for Coleraine and Magee campuses. We also have Gareth Kennedy, Head of Residential Services, joining us for the Q&A at the end. It is our privilege to give you a warm welcome and to take you through our virtual open day, which should last about 20 minutes. Folks, I have already muted everyone's microphones to avoid any interference. We have also disabled your video function for your privacy, so sadly, we won't be able to see you today. We are also recording the session so we can make it available to you again at a later date. We want to give you all the information you need to help you make an informed accommodation choice as you start your Ulster University journey. Now, I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy our webinar. We certainly never thought life was going to be this way. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, we are one of the university departments still physically on site daily, meeting the needs of students who have continued to live with us. With the university as your landlord, we consider what is in the best interests of our students. In March, residents were given the option to be released from their contract, return home, or remain in accommodation. We adapted our support and events to the changing circumstances. As many of our residents were impacted financially, we adopted a flexible approach to provide financial support. Over 250 residents decided to stay for their own personal reasons, some in order to fully focus on their studies and have access to unlimited high-speed Wi-Fi and maintain their independence. In September, rooms and facilities within accommodation will form small households of up to 8. This will allow students to observe social distancing but still enjoy an on-campus experience. We will continue to move through the changing level of restrictions with the aim of delivering as close to normal business as usual, as soon as the lifting of restrictions allows. From our perspective, in Res Life, we are still here, and as we look forward to the next academic year, we want you to be part of it. So, what we're going to do today is tell you about Ulster Accommodation and give you a sense and flavour of how your life would be living on campus. We've already sent you links to our video tours, which I hope you've already had a chance to view. Today we're going to cover why you should choose Ulster University accommodation and questions that you'll need to ask yourself to help you make the right choice. We are much more than just a bedroom. We will tell you about the facilities and services that we provide. You're going to hear about life on campus and the Res Life experience. We'll tell you about the application process and how you'll receive your offer. Finally, we're going to finish up by answering any of your questions that we haven't already covered in our presentation. This is an interactive webinar, so you can ask any questions throughout. Just post them using the Q&A button on your screen, and then we'll have a short question and answer session at the end. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague Clodagh to take you through the next section. Clodagh, you're up in Coleraine. This feels like a bit of a Eurovision handover. What's it like up in Coleraine today?
Well, at least it's not raining, Glenda.
I have a fabulous picture, Clodagh, here of the Coleraine campus for everyone to see. I'll just share it now. There we go.
Yeah, that's the picture from my office. Isn't that amazing?
Fantastic.
We have such amazing outside space in this campus. Okay, everyone. I'm Clodagh. I'm the Res Life Manager for the Coleraine campus on the fabulous Causeway Coast. I am so looking forward to meeting our Coleraine students in September. We all love Arrivals Weekend. The buzz is incredible. So, why choose university accommodation? Well, there are lots of advantages. Res Life takes the stress out of finding somewhere to live by providing the accommodation you need. We will help you make the smooth transition from home to uni. When you move into the accommodation, you will have the opportunity to meet lots of people from different backgrounds and places. And you will all be starting your uni journey together. Maybe a little bit apprehensive, maybe a little bit homesick, but mostly very, very excited. And we, the Res Life team, will be there for you to support you. While living in the accommodation, you will become much more independent and will learn to look after yourself. You will have to manage your budget. The fact that the room rate is all-inclusive and the contract is for 37 weeks will help you financially. The contracts in the private sector are usually a lot longer. Remember, if you are worried about money, please come and talk to us. The Res Life team can connect you to other services within the university. After all, the university is your landlord, and all staff are committed to your well-being. By living in halls, you will become much more confident and resilient and learn to cope with things, whether it's a uni deadline, student finance, or someone is just being annoying. Do not underestimate the skills you will develop in halls. These skills will complement your academic achievements and will help you take a future step. Studying abroad, a placement opportunity in a far-off land, and even going into the world of work. Guys, we know how important good Wi-Fi is to you and how frustrating it is when it fails. Good news, there's high-speed, unlimited Wi-Fi within our accommodation. This is also available in our learning resource centres and student hubs throughout our campuses, all of which will be open in September. You will all have the opportunity to enjoy the fantastic outside spaces on all our campuses, explore the local towns and cities, tourist attractions, and fantastic beaches, all close by. The Res Life team will be organising a full range of events for you, and most importantly, we'll be there for you 24/7 to support you when you need it and help you achieve your academic goals. And best of all, you have a no obligation accommodation guarantee if you apply before the 7th of July. Next, I'm going to look at the accommodation application. Students that put Ulster as their confirmed choice in UCAS can apply for accommodation today. If Ulster is your insurance choice, you will have to wait until your academic place is confirmed. Many of you have applied for accommodation already, which is great. Thank you. If you haven't, we would encourage you to apply before the accommodation deadline of the 7th of July. We have received so many applications to date, we do not want to disappoint. Applications are dealt with in date order. We want to allocate you accommodation that suits your needs, your budget, and your lifestyle. It is important that you provide as much information as possible on your application so we can get it right. You can choose between a bedroom with your own ensuite or a standard bedroom, sharing the showers and toilets with your flatmates. Just remember, keep in mind your budget. The NI Student Finance website has a fantastic budgeting tool which will help you with this decision. You can choose to live with your friends. Just pop your group name into your application and we will allocate you all together. Most new students don't know very many people and want to live with new people to increase their social circle. We generally put people doing similar type courses together so they've all got something in common. We also allocate mature students together. You can choose between single gender or mixed gender accommodation and have the option of alcohol-free accommodation if that's your preference. Guys, it's really important that you let us know if you have a medical condition or a disability. We will work closely with our wellbeing team to ensure that there's a smooth transition from home to university life for you and that any adaptations and support are ready for you when you arrive. There's a great notes section on the application where you can put any other information that you think is relevant. This will help us when you are allocating your room. For instance, if you prefer a room on a particular floor. I hope this has been useful for you, and if you require any help with your application, please get in touch. So now I'm going to pass over to the Northwest and to Mary in our Magee campus. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Clodagh. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Murphy, and it is a pleasure to be coming to you live from our beautiful Magee campus. So firstly, on behalf of the whole Res Life team, I'd like to reassure you, you don't need to put life on hold, you don't need to delay your university adventure, because we are here for you. Ask any university graduate, what they studied in their first semester, what grades they got, what modules they did, and they probably won't be able to tell you. But I guarantee they will definitely remember the people they met and the friends that they made, because put quite simply, they become your lifelong friends. We have a whole host of facilities, activities, and events that are here and they're for your benefit. And whilst we appreciate that, yes, the ongoing pandemic may have an impact on the facilities that we offer or how we deliver those events, we will ensure that we have a full virtual or face-to-face events program just for you. Now, the ResLife program is designed to get residents connected and ensuring that you have a memorable student experience. So it includes live music events, and quizzes, and movie nights, and challenges, and lots of free food events. And it's all designed on whether you're postgraduate, your first year, or mature. It depends on what your interests and hobbies may be. So we have 24/7 security. We also have maintenance and cleaning teams. And what that does is give you that reassurance that it's a safe, secure, and supported environment. But let me tell you a little bit more about the ResLife team, because there's 50 of us here for you. And it starts with our resident assistants, also known as RAs, who are students, and they're here to support you right from arrival through to departure. So because they're returning students who've already done their first or second or third year in university, they can offer you all sorts of advice and guidance about all aspects of university life. And they live in accommodation, which means you're that friendly face that you meet on the day that you arrive to us, help you get settled in, meet your flatmates, and do the block mixers, so you get to meet everyone else that's living in that area too. With the ResLife coordinators, and they are the team that develop all of our events and deliver those along with the RA team. And that's to develop that sense of community that you only really get whenever you're living in university accommodation. And they're all supported by our ResLife Night assistants. Now, the key is in the title. So they're there to support you when you need them right throughout the night, be it because you have got yourself locked out or lost your key, someone's feeling unwell, or you just need someone to talk to. And next year, we have a full events program planned, be it online or face-to-face, as social distancing requires. So, what's next? Well, if you haven't already done so, you can book accommodation now with no obligation. And if you book before the 7th of July as a first year, we will guarantee you a room offer. So after this, we are going to send you all an email with details of how you can apply for our accommodation voucher scheme. So those eligible could get up to £1,000 towards their accommodation fees. So do look into that when you receive the email. We're also going to send you details of our student wellbeing services here at Ulster, so you can view what the fantastic support is that's available. And for anyone who, as Clodagh mentioned, may have a disability or a medical condition and you want to sort of have that support in place, well, you'll be able to do that now before you arrive. Once you receive your exam results in August and you're offered your place at Ulster University, firstly, be very proud of yourself and well done. At that time, we will then allocate you a room and send you a room offer. And you can then decide, well, what's best for me? We believe on-campus accommodation is always the best option, especially for first years and our international students, because we want you to have a fantastic student experience, but by the same token, achieve the academic success, because that's quite simply what it's all about. And let us reassure you that we have the support, the services, and the team right here to make sure that you have the best student experience possible. And if you haven't already done so, do go online. Our website hosts so much information with our 360 tours and our photos and our prices, but you need to check out our social media as well, because that gives you a real feel for what it's like to live with us here at Ulster. Now, you may have already noticed, but we have very recently received a National Student Housing Survey Award 2020 for the best moving in experience. Massive, huge kudos to us. We were also nominated as a finalist for the best booking experience. Now, this award is voted for by residents, and we are very proud to have the hard work and the genuine warmth and welcome of our teams recognised as the very best out of 225 other universities across the whole of the UK and Ireland. Now, this is voted for by residents who live in accommodation, and they are our most important critics, which makes this accolade all the more special for us. To give you a very small flavour of our events, activities, and what the ResLife experience is all about, I want to share with you a very short 2-minute TikTok-inspired video, and then we'll pass back to Glenda to start our Q&A. Thanks very much for listening, and I hope to see you at Magee in September.
And it went like
I hope you all enjoyed that. If you want to contact us directly after today, please email or call us using the details on screen. If you've already submitted your application and you want to give us more information, you can simply email us and we will update your application form for you. After our Q&A session, I will play a short video from our residents. There are over 400 participants registered today and absolutely over 200 on this call this afternoon. We have tremendous engagement with questions both in advance and throughout this session. Some of your queries are around room types, prices, closing dates, how to apply, what to bring, what's allowed in bedrooms, how does the car parking work? I hope we've already answered some of these questions for you. Certainly all the answers are available online or via the 360 tours. What we're going to do is we're going to collate all the questions into themes and we will email everyone and give you the response to all of the questions that have been asked. I'm now going to invite the panel back. So if we can invite back Mary, Clodagh and Gareth for our question and answer session. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey.
Afternoon, folks.
Okay, I'm now going to introduce you to Gareth. Gareth Kennedy is our Head of Residential Services. How are you today?
Yes, very well, Glenda. Thank you.
Good. So Gareth, it's not mastermind. You can relax. I'm not asking anything too difficult, but I'll give you our first question. Now, we're all hoping for the best, but what happens if there is another lockdown?
Well, Glenda, I think what 2020 has told us today is that we can't predict what's going to happen in the future. But what we can assure folk is that we will abide by whatever government guidance and advice is in place at that particular time for the safety of our students, our staff, and members of the public. And that's exactly what we did back in March 2020. When, as you know, as a responsible accommodation provider, we continued to provide accommodation to our students that wanted to remain in accommodation at that particular time. And also what we did do is we released those students from their contracts and we refunded them their fees. And because of obviously their payment requirements in terms of people having lost jobs, we entered into flexible repayment arrangements with them and supported the students that wanted to remain in accommodation throughout that period. So can't predict what's going to happen in the future, but definitely what you can be assured is we will work in the best interest of our students and our staff.
Yeah, that's great. Gareth, you and I, we're both parents and we're very aware that the safety and security of residents on site is something that we provide on campus and it gives our parents great peace of mind. But understandably, parents are concerned about the virus and the impact that will have. What are we going to do to ensure social distancing and resident safety on campus?
Yeah, and that's a huge issue. And look, I have two sons going to university accommodation myself this year as well. But what I can assure everyone is, look, our approach is going to be taken in line with guidance, which is available for the higher education sector at a national level. And we will ensure the safety and well-being of residents in accommodation. And what we assume now is that those students will form their own individual household within cluster apartments of anything from 4, 5, 6 bedrooms. And in that, they will not require the same level of social distancing within that accommodation itself. But what you can be assured is we will complete risk assessments where we will look at what controls are required to ensure that the students are safe and secure within the accommodation. And also will provide guidance to the students in relation to what they need to do to ensure they abide by the current public health recommendations.
Great, that's very reassuring. Okay, we've got Matthew and Bethany. They've asked us the same question. They're both interested in applying for Magee campus. So we'll come to you, Mary. Mary, they want to know, and they're very keen to find out if they're allowed to have guests to stay overnight with them in their rooms.
Yeah, Matthew and Bethany, good choice if I do say so, Magee campus. Our guest policy across the board is normally that you can sign in a guest for 2 nights in any 7 days. But obviously because of the current situation and the current government guidelines in relation to COVID-19, under those guidelines, we wouldn't have guests to be able to be signed in at the moment. And that's to protect Matthew, Bethany and everyone that they live with. However, what we'll do is we will review those guidelines as we approach September and throughout the first semester. And if there's a relaxation of any time because of their current situation, then we will obviously review our policy in line with that and communicate that to residents. But first and foremost has to be about making sure that everybody that lives there feels safe and secure.
Great, thank you. So Clodagh, we've received lots of questions about applying for accommodation and what happens if we apply now and change your mind later. Now I think we did cover that in the presentation, but just for clarity, what does happen with the booking fee?
Okay, Glenda, yes, common question. Ulster offers a no obligation accommodation guarantee for first year students who apply by the 7th of July and overseas students that apply by the 14th of August. Once you're accepted on your course, you will get your room offer. And if you decide that it's not for you, you refuse the room offer and the £100 booking fee is refunded. without a quibble. So please don't worry.
Great, okay. Thanks for your question, Abdur. Clodagh Abdur is an international student. He wants to know if accommodation and support will be available if he is required to quarantine for 14 days.
Oh, Abdur, I hope that we don't have to quarantine people in September, but university will provide designated quarantine accommodation and support through Res Life and the International Student Experience team and our wellbeing team to support any student that is in quarantine. Quarantine students will have to abide by the guidance provided by the UK Borders Agency and the Public Health Agency. But fingers crossed that won't happen and we will see you in September.
Yeah, let's hope we'll have eased out through lockdown by that stage. Okay, so with teaching and learning online until January, can students wait and apply for second semester only? Garth, would you like to respond to that one?
Yeah, Glenda, certainly students can apply for semester 2 only. The only situation at the moment is that what we found is our applications for accommodation have in fact increased this year, and particularly from first year students. So what we've seen is that there's a huge demand now for accommodation from September. And as we all know, we have an accommodation guarantee, which finalises on the 7th of July. So we can't really predict what the applications are going to look until we're past that actual date itself. But what we would say is we go ahead and allocate those students in terms of who are looking to stay for a 37-week contract. And as I mentioned, demand's up, and it's demand across our Belfast campus as well. It's very high at the moment. So once we allocate those students in September, what we would look at then is what availability we have then for the second semester. But again, our accommodation is let on a first come, first served basis. So one of the things that we need to bear in mind is just that you may not get your chosen room in your chosen location if you leave it the second semester, but there should be accommodation available.
Okay, good advice. Mary, arrivals, it's definitely my favourite time of the residential year because it's always so exciting to meet all the new residents arriving and the start of their journey. When can the residents move in?
Glenda, 12th of September, it's Saturday, is the date for our arrivals weekend. So normally what happens is everyone will book their arrival slot, they'll move in, and what we have found in the past is that that's a full family affair. So you've got mum and dad and granny and granda and the whole family all arrive to move in. And then once the student settles, that's where we have our block mixers and a lot of welcome week activities that run right throughout that week. So what we're doing now is we're obviously looking at in line with what may be in place in September. So what we'll do is we'll manage that carefully to make sure that students do arrive in a coordinated manner, and we may have to restrict the number of people that do come along with them on that day. But our full welcome week programme, we're actually planning at the moment. We're looking at what may be happening to make sure that everybody can still get the full move-in experience, can still meet loads of people, but it'll either be done virtually or via social distancing. So that's all in plans and plans are in place at the moment, and we are making sure that by September we will be sort of hashtag ready for you.
Yeah, we look forward to that, don't we? So we have given everyone lots of information today, and we are going to be in contact with you all again and provide you all the links so that you'll have the opportunity to follow up. We've received lots of questions and messages through our chat while the session has gone on. I sincerely hope that we will be welcoming you to Ulster Accommodation for the next academic year. And as promised, I'm now going to let you hear from some of our residents. All that remains for me to say on behalf of Clodagh, Mary, Garth, and myself is thank you for your time, thanks for your attention and participation. And until we meet in person, please do stay safe. Enjoy your video.
Alright, my name is Ryan, and I'm your upcoming Vice President of McGee. After 3 years of living in student halls while studying at Ulster, I've got a fair amount of thoughts on Duncraig and Student Village, as well as Coppin. So here's a rundown of my top 3. So firstly, it's a fantastic opportunity to meet loads of different people from different backgrounds, and if it wasn't for the role as an RA over the 2 years, and I was living at home, I don't think I'd have been aware of the issues that students face and wanted to run for VP, so it's definitely going to change your life somehow. And if I'm being honest, a close second would be how hassle-free it is. You know, in first year when I was in RA, I didn't have all those responsibilities. It was fantastic, no worrying about Wi-Fi bills, electricity, gas bills. I could just sit down and study. And finally, it's managed by some really lovely people. I'm no longer an RA. I'm not being forced to say this, but over the 3 years, I've seen how hard the staff work. Kevin and Haley, Gareth and Mary, Ding and Durham, Geraldine and Isabel. I see how hard they work to improve the student experience, and I know how much they care about it.
My name's Catherine, and I've just finished first year at Ulster University studying biomedical science. I stayed in halls during first year, and it was absolutely great. My 4 flatmates and I got on really well, and we had loads of crack together, including playing VR in the kitchen at night and playing stupid pranks on each other. I've really loved my time in halls, and I hope I'll get to see you there next year. Bye!
I'm Evie. I lived in the McGee student accommodation last year and I loved it so much I'm hoping to go back next year. I went to uni in first year with not many friends, not knowing anyone, and came out with so many friends for life, and it was all down to living in accommodation.
Living on campus has given me a group of great friends and a place to hang out with my mates after classes ended.
So what happens when you're living at university? You grow as a person, you make friends for life, and you'll make memories that you'll never forget, all while having a giggle in the meantime.
Hi, this is Nurhan. Do you know there is a place where you can make friends from all over the world? It will be only if you stay on campus, so you can enjoy the different events made by the residential service and you can make friends there.
DSV really is a great place to live. Just the amount of new people you get to meet, and we're a really close-knit community. From all the late night out partying, the nights in, gaming and watching movies, to the late night adventures, it's just a great experience that everyone needs to have.